Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott. I really appreciate you tuning in today. Today's show is sponsored by Gentry Academy. Today I'll be joined by Gentry goalie coach Peter Emery. Is it just me, or do all goalie guys give you that look like you took a slap shot at their head? Trust me, Peter, I never took a slap shot at your head, you sieve. Okay, let's get right to the rink. A lot of action at all levels we cover. At the high school level, number 1 in Single A, Hermantown took care of section nemesis Hibbing 7-0 in a likely section final preview. In Double A, Benilde finished the regular season undefeated by beating Wayzata Thursday night. That's the good news. The bad news is they likely lost leading scorer and YHH Player of the Year finalist Kay Gleekel to a season-ending shoulder injury. Lots of Bantam action to report as well last weekend. First, Shattuck won their tournament down in Faribault, beating the Double A Grand Forks Aviators on Sunday for their title. Team Illinois came to the Twin Cities and played 2 games with number 1 Minnetonka, earning a split with the Skippers, and then they played Eden Prairie and lost to the Eagles. Team Illinois' Ryan Robinson is a fantastic 2001 birth year talent. Speaking of 01 talent, we saw a lot of it in Blaine last weekend. Fox Motors won its first ever Tier 1 Elite Championship at the 14 level, beating the Dallas Stars on Monday morning. The Tier 1 Elite League is a national league that has 20 organizations that some of the names may stand out to a casual Minnesota hockey fan, like the Colorado Thunderbirds, the Anaheim Junior Ducks, Bell Tire, and the St. Louis Junior Blues. These are the best hockey players in their respective areas. At the Pee Wee and Squirt level, not a lot of surprises here in Minnesota. The only major score of note was Chaska Chan and Edina White skating to a 2-2 tie in Squirt A's. And some not-so-surprising district champs crowned in District 9 in southern Minnesota and District 12 on the Iron Range. The Arapaho Warriors won their first game in the Quebec International, beating the Slovakia Thunder 4-3. Team Minnesota fell in their first game to the Long Island Stars. By all accounts, all are having a lot of fun up in Quebec. On to the girls. Anoka U's 15A team beat Wayzata 2-0 and are now the number 2 team in the state. And how about Minnetonka's U10A team? They got a nice win last week over previously unbeaten and number 1 Eden Prairie. Susie Higuchi was a superstar for the Skippers. We're joined today with Peter Emery from Gentry Academy. Peter's a goaltending coach there at the school. Thanks for joining us, Peter.
Well, thank you for having me here, Tony.
So talk a little bit about your background, hockey background. You grew up in California, went out and played some juniors. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started playing youth hockey in California. I started at the age of 12 and started playing junior hockey at 16. It was a little bit of a hike to get to practices, but eventually it got me to NCAA Division III hockey, where I played 4 years at Lawrence University.
In Wisconsin, right?
Yep, in Appleton, Wisconsin.
And now you're fresh out of college, you're working at the school, and I'm sure you're having a blast doing that.
Oh yeah, it's an unbelievable experience. The kids I get to work with every day have made this year really fun and just enjoyable.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the 6 kids that you work with. You have 6 goalies at the school. I know 5 of them, and I can't pronounce one of their names. So let's just go with it, okay?
Yep.
So Nick Avalamet from Forest Lake, he played in our Founders Cup tournament up in Hibbing a couple weeks back. Talk a little bit about his game.
He's a kid that came in, he couldn't really move too much, and he's worked really hard to kind of tackle that part of the game, and he looks like a completely different goalie.
Well, that's good to hear.
And it's awesome to see,
that's good to hear.
In development.
All right, Loud McCoy, he's a Squirt A goalie for Andover. I know him. He played in our Squirtacular. They finished 3rd in our tournament a couple weeks ago.
And Loudon's really fun to work with as well. He works hard every single day. I know he's been a part of an academy for a couple years now, but he's a kid that wants to learn, wants to work hard, and pays very close attention to details, which challenges me as a coach.
All right, speaking of details, here's one of our best goalies in the state, I think. It's Anton Castro. Plays at Minnesota Made. He's up in Quebec right now, playing in the Quebec International. Talk a little bit about Anton's game.
Yeah, and this is his 2nd year at the Pee Wee tournament in Quebec, so it's a really cool experience for him. So he's definitely an athletic type of goalie who just knows how to make saves, and it just seems natural. Any way he moves, anything he does, you just don't know what he's going to do. And sometimes that's all you want from a goalie, is to be unpredictable.
Right, okay. And then Nash Wilson, he's a kid out of Monticello, right?
Mm-hmm. Out of Monticello, yep.
And talk a little about his game.
So Nash is a smaller goalie who really is a student of the game. He likes to ask questions. He tries to help out with even the younger youth programs. He plays Pee Wee A as well as Minnesota Made, and every day he comes to the ice, he has a smile on his face, and he's always ready to learn.
All right. Next kid, Jet Klon from Andover. He's another Andover kid. Talk about Jet's game.
So Jet came in at January to Gentry, so he joined the year a little bit late. So he had to catch up, I think, to learn how we teach at Gentry, and he's come in with a smile every day. He's learning, I think, how to be a goalie, and that's kind of the cool thing from him is he's only been a goalie for 2 years now, and I think you can tell that he moves way better than, you wouldn't think that he's been playing goalie for 2 years.
That's awesome to hear. And then your 8th grader is Carter Traum from Blaine. Talk a little bit about Carter's game.
Carter is a big goalie who loves to learn as well. Another goalie whose movement has gotten a lot better, and you can see this new form of confidence growing from him, from knowing that, hey, I can do this, and his game has changed tremendously from doing it.
All right, let's talk specifically. You brought in this sheet called the brick wall of development. That's a lot to learn for a goaltender. How do you simplify it and break it down into like easier, more palatable things for them to learn?
Yep. So
I bet the parents love this, but the kids hate it, right?
Probably the parents would have a harder time understanding it too.
Yeah,
and the kids struggle with it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of our way. The brick wall is our way of telling the kids, hey, this is what we're going to work on today. And so instead, we're trying to stay away from the goalie camp type of mentality, and we're trying to make this a unique academy for goalies where they can learn to be goalies and develop critical goalie skills that sometimes
What are those skills?
And those skills are athleticism, decision-making, critical thinking, as well as reactionary time.
Yeah, well, that's basically some on-ice stuff. There's some mental and some physical, basically. They're getting a combination of that.
And the mental and the physical part comes with the training. Usually the mental part of the game is kind of telling the kids, hey, what's your struggles with this right here, and is it physical or is it mental? And that's when the critical thinking starts to come in, and they start to challenge themselves. Well, is this a me thing, or is this something else that maybe I haven't learned yet?
Okay, so on a shadow day, we have a couple shadow days coming up on March 16th and 23rd. What is a goalie, when you get a new goalie coming in, what do you guys do with the goalie when he comes in on a shadow day?
So when a new goalie comes in, it's almost like I give the goalie coaching role to the kids, so the other goalies at the academy will actually help coach the new shadow kid to make him feel that, hey, this isn't just a coach coaching, this is a family. The goalies there are here to learn.
And you're like the dad, right?
Yep, essentially. That's what it feels like sometimes.
It's kind of cool.
And it's awesome because the kids, even the goalies, think it's a change essentially from their day-to-day routine, and they get that chance to be a coach, and you can see it's almost as if they feel like they're more than me, and they kind of tell me to get off the ice at the same time so they can coach.
How do you get information about the shadow days?
So shadow days, you can go to gentryacademy.com. There's a tab that says shadow. If you click on that, it'll show you when upcoming shadow days are. You can register there if you'd like to come. The next couple of shadow days coming up are March 16th and March 23rd, which are both on Wednesdays.
All right, great. All right, I'm going to throw you on the teleprompter in just a second. I'm going to read about our prospects. I got a couple of goalies in there, and our trivia question is a goalie trivia question as well. So, all right, we have a little goalie theme here today. All right, so featured now prospects. This week I thought it'd be a little more fun, point out a couple less heralded prospects who had great years. 2017 prospect Chase Brand from Park Rapids had 68 points this year for the Panthers. Another 2017 having a great year is Jack Roble from Bloomington, a goaltender. He has a 1.61 goals against average and 93% save percentage while playing for Shattuck's U16 team. Another goaltender, 2018 prospect Todd Scott from Albertville has been a rock in the net so far for the Junior Olympics Team USA team in Lillehammer, Norway. He stopped 21 of 22 shots for Team USA last weekend in their 4-1 win over Finland. Team USA faces Canada today. The 2019s had a great regular season playing high school hockey. Ben Doherty had 2 goals and 2 assists for Alexandria in their playoff win on Saturday, and his buddy Jack Westland and fellow now prospect added 2 assists. All right, time for you to read the trivia question.
Today's question is a fun one. So I grew up in California, and it's not exactly a hotbed for goaltenders, but here is a goalie who was way before my time. Way before
your time. You were born in 1990, by the way.
Yeah, and this guy comes from the mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s,
so,
all right.
He starred for the Golden Gophers in the mid-'80s, but his last name is another color. If you know this goalie, send an email to youthhockeyhub@gmail.com.
All right, time for some game pucks. Peter, you go first.
So today I have to give my game puck to my college goalie coach, Brian Garavaglia. He still lives in Appleton, Wisconsin. He was a guy that really pulled me back up when times were down and pulled me back to reality when times were up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Always good to have a good goaltender coach. I'm sure he was a good trainer for you, as well as you being passing it on now to younger kids.
Yep, he was more of a friend than I would say a goalie coach, and sometimes that's all you can ask for.
That's good. That's good. Sometimes after sieving out a little bit, you need a good friend, right?
Yeah, sometimes when you see a couple.
And then when you have that super dog super game, he wants to keep you back to reality. That's a good deal. All right, my game puck goes out to John King, my co-creator in Game On Minnesota. Shout out to him and his crew for making the fun song, the Edina Cake Eater Anthem. It's been a huge hit on our website. It's been a great thing to be part of. We're really excited about it. We knew it would be a good song, but when you got kids from Edina and from all over humming the song, humming a tune that you came up with, we're glad to have that to you. My game puck goes out to John. We hope to have him back here in studio soon. For Tony Scott, you got Peter Emery here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys around the rink.